The mention of 2007-2008 post-election violence conjures terrible, horrific memories for many Kenyans. It was the deadliest political conflict that the country has ever witnessed. Hundreds of people died in the most gruesome manner ever. Many victims still have physical scars and emotional wounds that will never ever heal. For thousands and hundreds of thousands of victims, justice is all they would pray for. And it is almost a matter of common sense that a well-meaning government will do all it can to accord them justice, right? Well, if the latest development on this matter is anything to go by, justice will be the last thing to the victims of 2007-2008 post-election violence, and that is what they will get, if at all they will. To put it bluntly, they are politically pawns. Yes, open your eyes and see it. They are more valuable to politicians when they are in deep misery. Alleviating their sufferings will be a big blow to the political elites. 13 years later, and we are still toying with the idea of according justice to people who were butchered, raped, and their property and their land taken away by force, all in the name of politics. And now even the sleuths have joined the nauseating game meted on justice process for the post-election violence victims. On Monday this week, DCI boss George Kinoti told the country that he had caught firm instructions from the government to bring the perpetrators of the post-election violence to book. He even paraded dozens of victims who had recorded statements on the 13-year-old crimes. But barely a day later, Kinoti was issuing another statement explaining the first statement. I mean, this matter is indeed a complex one. Even the head of the sleuths cannot get it right in one go. And that is not all. His master has thrown him under the bus. President Uhuru Kenyatta, while launching the signature collection exercise for the Constitution Amendment Bill 2020 on Wednesday, said he only learned about Kinoti's intentions from the press. Yes, you heard it right. The president said that he learned about Kinoti's intentions from the press. Really, Mr. President, really? Well, like I said, this matter is a caricature of events. A twisted maze, to say the least. Uhuru even went to say, and I quote, some people should think before they act. And tonight, like you, I am also perplexed. But Uasin Gishu Governor Jackson Mandagor has a remedy for all of us. He tonight prescribes that we keep political matters in our lungs, and that way we can exhale them and forget. Yes, this matter is political. So political that immediately Kinoti announced his intentions. DP Ruto's allies were up in arms, saying it was a calculated ploy to kill his 2022 presidential ambitions. Tonight I have taken you full circle on this matter. I believe you can now get it. Good evening. This is TV47 News Tonight. These are the highlights. The Interfaith Council has reduced the worship duration to strictly 90 minutes per session. This is in keeping with the rising second wave of COVID-19 infections. Also tonight, ODM leader Raila Odinga denies allegations that some changes were sneaked into the BBI report without his knowledge. Plus, a repurposed passenger plane, a Dreamliner 787, is now a cargo carrier for weekly direct flights from Mombasa to UAE. Tonight of all nights, Anne Wairimu is our sign language interpreter. TV47 News Tonight with me, Abu Bakar Abdullahi, begins right now. The Interfaith Council has announced a number of changes in the regulations governing the reopening of places of worship, burials, and weddings as a measure of curbing COVID-19 in the country as the numbers continue to increase. Zainab Mohammed begins our broadcast tonight.
going to answer in Swahili. Answer in Swahili.
Following a surge of COVID-19 numbers in the recent past, the Interfaith Council has announced a number of changes in the regulations governing the reopening of places of worship, burial rites, and weddings. In the regulations governing the reopening of places of worship, the time limit for worship sessions has been reduced from 2 hours to less than 90 minutes, with all other gatherings apart from worship sessions being banned.
Hand washing or sanitizing stations in the compound, this to be adhered to. Sitting will be 1.5 meters social distancing, and where possible, temperature checks will be in place.
In the regulations governing burials, the number of attendees has been reduced to half, from 200 people to 100 people, as the time limit for the burial services was reduced from 2 hours to less than an hour. And in the regulations governing weddings, the number of attendees has been significantly reduced from 100 people to a maximum of 50 people.
The area of weddings, this is what the council has resolved, that all the current requirements from the guidelines, that is hand washing, sanitization in the compound, sitting of 1.5 meters social distancing, and of course, where possible, the temperature checks will be enforced.
Zainab Mohammed, TV47.
Elsewhere, the National Assembly's Health Committee has asked the DCI and EACC to investigate and take action against those behind the KEMSA scandal. As the MPs showed their dissatisfaction on the state of COVID-19 in the country, they expressed their concern on the implementation of the findings and the recommendations of the Health Committee.
Suspended Kenya Medical Supplies Authority KEMSA CEO Jonah Manjari may soon find himself at the helm of another investigation after the National Assembly Health Committee told the august House that there were irregularities in the procurement of COVID-19 equipment.
Number two, that the Director of Criminal Investigations and Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission undertake investigations on the suspended Chief Executive Officer on the following grounds. One, for the irregular and unauthorized expenditure of KEMSA's fund contrary to Section 68 and 74(4) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 through procurement of COVID-19 related HPTs.
The Health Committee further asking the Directorate of Criminal Investigations DCI and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission EACC to probe the main actors of the much publicized scandal.
The recommendation from the committee is that the Director of Criminal Investigations and Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission undertake investigation of the procurement process at the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority with a view of establishing if there were any procurement malpractices and institute appropriate legal action.
However, the implementation of the committee's findings and recommendations were questioned, with the members of parliament raising concerns on the possibility of prosecuting the suspects.
I think maybe, unfortunately, what has been happening is that a lot of cases have been going there and maybe people are not seeing them bite. I want to say this is the time we want to see EACC bite, because this is a tragedy against this country.
Mr. Speaker, there are many, and I want to challenge the President. I want to challenge EACC. I want to challenge the Office of the Director of Criminal Investigation that do not be part and parcel of those who, in my own words, quote unquote, committed genocide against many Kenyans.
To limit overstepping between the DCI and EACC in the investigations, the National Assembly passed the recommendation that the EACC be allowed to lead the investigations.
That which is subject to insertion of Recommendation 40, that where two or more agencies are recommended to undertake investigations by the committee, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission be the lead agency. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. As many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
The members of parliament also expressed their dissatisfaction with the disheartening state of COVID-19 in the country.
This country has laid down the health workers simply because of selfishness, simply because we don't care, simply because corruption has become our top priority in this country.
The results of that exposure are what we are witnessing today. Our medical doctors and health workers dying in numbers because they do not have protective gear, they do not have facilities that they are supposed to work with.
Let us call a spade a spade. There are people today, all of us sitting here, have lost our loved ones. We have lost our friends. We have lost our constituents. We have lost our colleagues on the basis of the corruption that took place in KEMSA.
As many Kenyans continue to test positive for the virus with little resources to fight it, all eyes are now on the government to see whether the orchestrators of the KEMSA scandal will be prosecuted. Musa Salah, TV47.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has expressed optimism that a joint training of regional cadets will help in strengthening national ties and collective response to the security challenges in the region. President Uhuru Kenyatta spoke at the Kenya Military Academy in Lanet, Nakuru County, where he commissioned the 8th group of military cadets. The training included cadets from Kenya's neighbors within the East African region, including Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda, as Joan Maina now reports.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, speaking at the passing out parade of the KDF military cadet, congratulated the new officers and advised them to ensure their commitment to hard work, diligence and excellence does not diminish throughout their career.
As Kenya and our allies individually and collectively look to the future, our defense forces must be prepared to respond effectively to diverse challenges from both conventional as well as asymmetrical spheres.
As an officer of the Kenya Defense Forces.
Amongst the commissioned officers that will be graduating next month were military cadets from East African countries, including Rwanda, Tanzania and Uganda. President Kenyatta also awarded officers who excelled in various fields.
It is gratifying to note that the Kenya Military Academy also trains cadets from our neighbors within the East African region. And I have no doubt that the commissioned cadets from Rwanda, Tanzania, and Uganda will be going back to their respective countries, having acquired first-class training from one of the foremost military training institutions in Africa.
The commissioning parade was also attended by Nakuru Governor Lee Kinyanjui, Defense Cabinet Secretary Monica Juma, Chief of Defense Forces General Robert Kibochi, Inspector General of Police Hilary Mutiambai, and Commandant of the Kenya Military Academy Major General Peter Njiru, among other national and military leaders. Joan Maina, TV47.
Now, 86 out of 122 Nairobi MCAs have appended their signatures to an impeachment motion against Governor Mike Sonko. The motion was tabled by the House Majority Leader Michael Ogada. The MCAs claim that Sonko is unfit to hold public office since he has been in and out of courtrooms on various issues, among other accusations. However, MCAs supporting the governor are reading malice in the motion, claiming that he is being impeached for failing to assent to the bill on the 37.5 billion shillings 2020-2021 budget.
11 and 13 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, there are serious reasons to believe that the governor has committed crimes under national law, specifically the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act, with crimes he has been tried in the Anti-Corruption Court. Mr. Speaker, I beg to lay this case.
You're watching TV47 News Tonight with me, Abu Bakr Abdullahi, 9:15 p.m. Time for us to take a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more news.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Movie, we get up close and personal.
Nilizaliwa hivyo. Yes. Mimi sijawahi ona.
We have candid conversations that are inspiring.
Na acha nikwambie, mtu amebarikiwa na mlikuwa nyote mko kwa line, mko kwa foleni. Huyu akibarikiwa si ametoka, bado foleni nasonga. Wewe ni next.
Humorous.
This is going to be the craziest interview ever.
And life-changing.
Success is value system and the legacy you leave.
Coffee with Movie, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV47.
Every muscle, every bone is our concern.
A lot of pressure with both your hands, you're going to collapse the infant's chest.
Any pain.
There you go. You can calm down.
Any discomfort. We have just the right doctor.
I'm a consultant breast surgeon.
I'm an emergency care specialist.
A chiropractor.
With just the right remedy.
Majority of patients will actually just require supportive treatment.
Join us on Body Garage every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. because we care. How do you like your meals? Sweet and tasty or spicy and savory? On the Throwdown, we bring you our chef of the day. He gives you ideas on how to make amazing meals from the comfort of your home. Every Sunday from 6:30 p.m.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows.
Welcome back to TV47 News Tonight with me, Abu Bakr Abdullahi. ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi now says that most of the proposals he raised for the amendment in the initial BBI report has been captured. Meanwhile, BBI proponents have started popularizing the document in search of 1 million signatures in support of constitutional amendment.
The proponents of the BBI report have embarked on popularizing the report a day after the 1 million signature collection exercise was launched. Senate Chief Whip Irungu Kangata has disputed claims that the Senate will be downgraded once the report sails through.
When you look at this draft, you can see a deliberate effort on the part of the government to take into account all complaints that had been leveled against BBI after the first draft was unveiled in Bomas.
ANC party leader Musalia Mudavadi now supporting the BBI process, urging all Kenyans to come together and participate in the process with a view to having a smooth and a no-contested referendum.
People wanted to vilify us because they wanted a quick shortcut of having a divisive process. But diplomatically, consistently and logically, many voices raised concerns. And with the new document, it shows that those concerns did not land on deaf ears.
The dark cloud that has been hanging precariously above us has now been cleared. Ile idea moja tu nimekumbusha Mheshimiwa Musalia, ile ya kutengeneza National Police Council.
Tumetaja.
Vile tumetaja hapa. Hiyo ilikuwa inaenda kulete taharuki inji.
The signature collection exercise is set to be completed in 6 days.
Still on matters BBI, and as the BBI train officially took off yesterday following the launch of the BBI signatures collection drive, part of the recommendations in the report have been seen to favor some players who are said to be key in the decision making of the fate of the BBI report. The key players will include governors, MPs and members of county assemblies. David Mudhoka has the details.
Tumpongeze kwa makofi Mheshimiwa Rais anapotia sahihi.
Just a day after President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM party leader Raila Odinga presided over the launch of the BBI signatures collection drive, all eyes are set on a number of players who are poised to determine the success or, on the flip side, the failure of the BBI process.
Joseph is from North.
According to the BBI calendar, once the BBI team has gathered 1 million or more signatures in the next 6 days, the signatures will be surrendered to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission for verification. The verification is set to last 30 days, and if IEBC is satisfied with the validity of the signatures, the report will then be handed over to all 47 county assemblies for debate and approval. The county assemblies will have 30 days to comb over the report. The BBI bill will then be ripe for the next parliament phase if 24 or more county assemblies approve the report. The National Assembly will then have 45 days to debate and approve the draft, with BBI set to leave the chambers by April 5th next year. At this point, the BBI referendum is expected to be at the height of its campaigns, with governors set to be in charge of the county campaigns, while MPs will take charge of drumming up support for BBI at the constituency level. In what has been seen as a ploy to woo the aforementioned players to throw their weight behind BBI, the biggest gainers in the BBI recommendations have been seen to be counties, constituencies as well as wards.
The biggest beneficiary, the biggest winner of BBI in this country is devolution. And Mr. Speaker, it's important that we appreciate where we have come as a country.
According to the BBI draft, counties will get a hefty 15 to 35% boost in their revenue allocation. On the other hand, the Constituencies Development Fund (CDF) will be constitutionalized to anchor the performance of national government functions at constituency level once the BBI report is adopted. Wards have not been left out, with BBI proposing the establishment of the Ward Development Fund that shall comprise of at least 5% of all the county government's revenue in each financial year. Meanwhile, ODM party leader Raila Odinga has refuted claims that he was not privy of the latest changes in the BBI report that touch on IEBC. In the 11th hour changes, the proposal by Odinga that ODM commissioners be nominated by political parties has been dropped. But Odinga, through a statement, has said he has no issue with some of his proposals being kicked out, reiterating his sentiments during the launch of the signatures collection drive at KICC.
So there are things that have gone into this, a lot of thoughts have gone, very many brains have worked on this. Some of the best brains in this country have been working together with the committee of, with the steering committee.
David Muthoka, TV47, Nairobi.
Moving on, Kenya has launched a weekly direct cargo flight from Moi International Airport in Mombasa to the United Arab Emirates. The first flight took off last night with 30 tons cargo of fresh produce, ornamental fish, and seafood. Mariam Wacharo explains.
It was a momentous occasion. Kenya was launching the first direct cargo flight from the Moi International Airport in Mombasa to the UAE. The national carrier Kenya Airways had repurposed a Dreamliner 787, which was a passenger plane to carry cargo. The inaugural flight Wednesday night, a 30-ton cargo of fresh produce, ornamental fish and seafood, was destined for Sharjah Airport International Airport in the UAE. It was the first of what will be the weekly flights to boost trade and tourism between the two countries. Fresh Produce Consortium CEO Okisegere Ojapet underscored that they shall not rest until the coastal region has marked its territory in international markets for fresh produce.
And we are committed to the bond. We will ensure this works. And we agreed with Hosea that tumeweka mguu here, and we are not moving it until we see a daily shipment of cargo from Mombasa to the rest of the world. We are looking at supporting the region, right from Lamu up to Taita Taveta, including what comes from Makueni.
KQ CEO Alan Kilavuka said the frequency and destinations of the flights will grow in keeping with the demand. Kilavuka said the national carrier is biased as promoting trade and tourism at the coast.
The flight today indicates that we have the products, we now need to get them to the markets. As an agency, our main duty is to improve the lives of the people at this region and its environs.
On his account, Mombasa County Commissioner Gerald Kitio urged coastal residents to take advantage of the climatic conditions the country enjoys to do business and progress economically.
But what I know from my geography is that United Arab Emirates is a desert. Maybe those of us who have gone there, I'm sure you will acknowledge that. And being a desert, they don't have the privilege of growing a lot of food and fresh produce. And I'm sure with our connections, especially the Arabic connections we have between Mombasa and United Arab Emirates, we can be able to do a lot of business with them.
Mombasa County CEC for Agriculture Tendai Lewa was also in attendance.
From the seaside city of Mombasa, let's get to the lakeside city of Kisumu, where Kisumu County Governor Professor Peter Anyang' Nyong'o has urged county governments to invest in the treatment of cancer. Nyong'o said that a majority of cancer patients in the counties are suffering as a result of not being in a position to afford the treatment.
Indeed, as the rest of the country bears the biggest burden of cancer due to lack of awareness, misdiagnosis, late presentation to hospital, and high cost of treatment. Mr. Speaker, sir, our preventive healthcare system needs a lot of investment and improvement to reduce the cost of curative care, particularly in cancer in our country, not to mention all of Kenya.
Elsewhere, Equity Group Foundation has mobilized 1.4 billion shillings toward the fight against COVID-19. The Equity Group Foundation Country Director Sam Onyango says the money will be used to purchase personal protective equipment for medical personnel in public health facilities. Onyango was speaking at the Siaya County Referral Hospital, where he presented the PPEs to the county governor. The donations were valued at 7,500 shillings.
And we received gowns, we received gumboots,
surgical masks, scrubs, face shields, gloves, goggles, which greatly helped the county because this was specifically for the health care workers.
Additionally, Equity Group Foundation has also funded a year-long COVID-19 case management and mental health and psychosocial wellness programs for health workers to the tune of 85 million.
You're watching your channel of choice, the county's television, TV47 News Tonight with me, Abu Bakr Abdullahi. Time for us to take another short break. We'll be back with more. Don't go too far.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Mbuvi, we get up close and personal.
Nilizaliwa hivyo. Yes. Mimi sijawahi ona.
We have candid conversations that are inspiring.
Na acha nikwambie, mtu mmebarikiwa na mlikuwa nyote mko kwa line, mko kwa foleni. Huyu akibarikiwa sio ametoka, bado foleni nasonga. Wewe ni next.
Humorous.
This is going to be the craziest interview ever.
And life-changing.
Success is value system and the legacy you leave.
Coffee with Mbuvi, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV47.
Every muscle, every bone is our concern.
A lot of pressure with both your hands, you're going to collapse the infant's chest.
Any pain.
There you go. You can calm down.
Any discomfort. We have just the right doctor.
I'm a consultant breast surgeon.
I'm an emergency care specialist.
A chiropractor.
With just the right remedy.
Majority of patients will actually just require supportive treatment.
Join us on Body Garage every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. because we care. How do you like your meals? Sweet and tasty or spicy and savory? On the Throwdown, we bring you our chef of the day. He gives you ideas on how to make amazing meals from the comfort of your home. Every Sunday from 6:30 p.m.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Mbuvi, we get up close and personal.
Nilizaliwa hivyo. Yes. Mimi sijawahi ona.
We have candid conversations that are inspiring.
Na acha nikwambie, mtu mmebarikiwa na mlikuwa nyote mko kwa line, mko kwa foleni. Huyu akibarikiwa sio ametoka, bado foleni nasonga. Wewe ni next.
Humorous.
This is going to be the craziest interview ever.
And life-changing.
Success is value system and the legacy you leave.
Coffee with Mbuvi, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV47.
Every muscle, every bone is our concern.
A lot of pressure with both your hands, you're going to collapse the infant's chest.
Any pain,
There you go. You can come down, come down, come down.
any discomfort, we have just the right doctor.
I'm a consultant breast surgeon.
I'm an emergency care specialist.
A chiropractor.
With just the right remedy.
Majority of patients will actually just require supportive treatment.
Join us on Body Garage every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. because we care. How do you like your meals? Sweet and tasty or spicy and savory? On the Throwdown, we bring you our chef of the day. Gives you ideas on how to make amazing meals from the comfort of your home. Every Sunday from 6:30 p.m.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Ruby.
Welcome back to TV47 News Tonight with me, Abubakar Abdullahi. Thank you for staying with us. As always, remember you can be part of this broadcast. Your opinion matters. Your voice counts. Keep talking to us. The hashtag to use is TV47 News. Send us a message as well on 22047. Let's get to more news and more so regional news. And the Rwandan Chamber of Deputies has asked the government to accelerate the implementation of a proposal to share a percentage of proceeds from minerals with communities living near mining sites. Our Kigali-based correspondent Diana Iriza has the details.
The request stems from the cabinet decision of September 13, 2016, which resolved that 10% of the mineral revenues to districts be used for development projects in areas where mining activities are carried out. The Chamber's plenary sitting today resolved that the Ministry of Finance and Economic Planning should indicate to it within 3 months how the proposal was implemented. The issue was the subject of debate during the adoption of a report of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on National Budget and Patrimony. Members of Parliament say that during their countrywide tour from March 3rd to 13th to assess the execution of the national budget in the first half of the 2019 and 2020 fiscal year, they discovered that the mineral revenue sharing model has not yet been implemented. Omar Munyaneza, the chairperson of the committee, explained that when the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning was summoned to respond to the issue, he explained that the decision was delayed because effective modalities of implementation were still being considered. He said that the minister indicated that in the financial year 2019 and 2020, only 670 million Rwandan francs was collected from 17 mining sites. The government is in the process of identifying the poorest districts in the country, yet produce a lot of minerals where it can implement development projects using proceeds from mining activities. Rutsiro, Ngorero, Gakenke, Rulindo, and Gasibo districts have been marked to benefit from the initiative. The mining sector generated somewhere around $412 million from mineral exports in 2019, according to the Rwanda Mines, Petroleum and Gas Board.
Thank you, Diana Iriza, our Kigali-based correspondent, for that report. Time for us to get to the world of sports. And sportsman Dennis Otieno is on standby. Dennis, from the morning of Maradona to the Thursday League, there is a lot in the world of sports tonight.
Indeed, Abubakar, well said right there. A lot in the world of sports, ranging from FKF and the sponsorship deal that will cover the new Premier League season, as well as a brief biography of the fallen football icon Diego Maradona, as well as a little bit of the UEFA Europa League action. This coming up in just a few. A very warm welcome to Primetime Sports. My name is Dennis Otieno and we shall start off with local news. Now, the new football season is set to kick off over the weekend despite the refusal of 4 Premier League clubs to endorse the Football Kenya Federation partnership with an international broadcaster. In words of the FKF president Nick Mwendwa, the 4 clubs of Gor Mahia, Ulinzi Stars, Mathare United and Zuke Richo will not hold the league at ransom.
The new FKF Premier League season is set to begin this coming weekend, however, under unique circumstances. Having only 14 clubs ready to go and 4 more clubs opposed to the idea owing to misunderstandings between the federation, the domestic clubs and a Chinese broadcasting firm. Gor Mahia, Ulinzi Stars, Zuke Richo FC and Mathare United are among the 4 clubs that have refused to sign letters of endorsement and participation in the league, alluding to the fact that they were not aware of the clauses in a newly signed contract between FKF and the Chinese broadcasting firm, done Thursday morning at a Nairobi hotel. According to FKF President Nick Mwendwa, the sponsorship by the broadcasting firm that is set to last for a period of 7 years shall be worth $1.1 million per year for the first 3 years, and every club is set to benefit immensely since they shall get about 10 million shillings every season.
We have $3.4 million. The clubs decided every club ipate $100,000 kwa hii pesa. Pesa ingine italipa mareferees, italipa expenses, italipa all the other things.
Speaking during the unveiling of the partnership with the broadcasting firm, Mwendwa vehemently lashed at the defunct clubs, saying the rights of the league belong to FKF and the federation exploited the rights collectively in benefit of the league and the clubs involved.
FKF ili decide to exploit easy rights collectively through FKF. Collectively through FKF. Financial rights, media rights, commercial rights, all those zina belong to FKF, the league.
The FKF president affirmed that the 4 clubs shall not hold other clubs at ransom, urging the clubs to sign the letters and endorse the contract before the new season kicks off. Mwendwa, however, validated the submitted letter from Gor Mahia's Secretary General Sam Ochola that earlier brought about mixed reactions from the club's authority.
We have an endorsement for Gor Mahia from a bona fide General Secretary. That is what we have. We are going with it. Today, as I speak to you, we are testing Gor Mahia for COVID-19. right now. So kama hiyo barua haikuwa ya ukweli, hatungekuwa tunawatest, wangetukataza.
Mwendwa also took a jab at former FKF presidents and stakeholders in the federation for not disclosing their financial achievements, their budget and expenditure. With the new FKF Premier League season set to begin this coming weekend, FKF President Nick Mwendwa champions for transparency, saying his federation has done a lot to bring the sponsors on board and they are ready to bring a new face of football in the country. Dennis Otieno, TV47 Sports.
Now, the entire globe was thrown into grief following the demise of legendary footballer Diego.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Movie, we get up close and personal.
Nilizaliwa hivyo. Yes. Mimi sijawahi ona.
We have candid conversations that are inspiring.
Na acha nikwambie, mtu mmebarikiwa na mlikuwa nyote mko kwa line, mko kwa foleni. Huyu akibarikiwa si ametoka, bado foleni inasonga. Wewe ni next.
Humorous.
This is going to be the craziest interview ever.
And life-changing.
Success is value system and the legacy you leave.
Coffee with Movie, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV47.
Every muscle, every bone is our concern.
A lot of pressure with both your hands, you're going to collapse the infant's chest.
Any pain,
There you go. You can calm down.
any discomfort, we have just the right doctor.
A consultant breast surgeon.
I'm an emergency care specialist.
A chiropractor.
With just the right remedy.
Majority of patients will actually just require supportive treatment.
Join us on Body Garage every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. because we care. How do you like your meals? Sweet and tasty or spicy and savory? On the Throwdown, we bring you our chef of the day. He gives you ideas on how to make amazing meals from the comfort of your home. Every Sunday from 6:30 p.m.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Movie, we get up close and personal.
Nilizaliwa hivyo. Yes. Mimi sijawahi ona.
We have candid conversations that are inspiring.
Na acha nikwambie, mtu mmebarikiwa na mlikuwa nyote mko kwa line, mko kwa foleni. Huyu akibarikiwa si ametoka, bado foleni inasonga. Wewe ni next.
Humorous.
This is going to be the craziest interview ever.
And life-changing.
Success is value system and the legacy you leave.
Coffee with Movie, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV47.
Every muscle, every bone is our concern.
A lot of pressure with both your hands, you're going to collapse the infant's chest.
Any pain,
There you go. You can come down, come down, come down. Calm
any
down.
discomfort, we have just the right doctor.
A consultant breast surgeon.
I'm an emergency care specialist.
A chiropractor.
With just the right remedy.
Majority of patients will actually just require supportive treatment.
Join us on Body Garage every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. because we care. How do you like your meals? Sweet and tasty or spicy and savory? On the Throwdown, we bring you our chef of the day, who gives you ideas on how to make amazing meals from the comfort of your home. Every Sunday from 6:30 p.m.
Life is a journey, and we all have ups and downs, highs and lows, and celebrities are no exception.
Do you know I couldn't pay rent? Do you know there's a time I went 3 days without food? If you read my book, I ate Colgate for dinner.
On Coffee with Movie, we get up close and personal.
Nilizaliwa hivyo. Yes. Mimi sijawahi ona.
We have candid conversations that are inspiring.
Na acha nikwambie, mtu mmebarikiwa na mlikuwa nyote mko kwa line, mko kwa foleni. Huyu akibarikiwa si ametoka, bado foleni inasonga. Wewe ni next.
Humorous.
This is going to be the craziest interview ever.
And life-changing.
Success is value system and the legacy you leave.
Coffee with Movie, every Sunday at 8 p.m. only on TV47.
Every muscle,
The Thursday
every
team,
bone,
the team you
is our
referred to as
concern.
a Thursday night players, early this week is playing tonight. Your predictions? I see it's already halftime 0-0.
You can come down, come
And
down.
it's absolutely expected coming from Arsenal to head into the break, having coming off a barren draw. The Thursday league, I don't really expect Arsenal are going to win this match. I don't know. I'm talking from a lot of dislike, from off the Arsenal club because I'm a Manchester United fan. But I see Mulder getting. I see Arsenal. I mean Mulder getting to win this game by 3 goals, probably 2-2. Again, Abubakar, I'm being reminded that this is known as the Farmers League.
Well, one day you're still reminded, and you have a right to be reminded, Dennis, by our director tonight, Emmanuel, who I suppose is a United supporter as well, is he?
Well, I suppose so too, because a lot of people really want to associate. A lot of people want to associate with winning clubs. So I guess that's why Inonda really wants.